Hey everyone, welcome to All About the Joy. This is Culture and Consequence with Carmen and Andrea. How are you feeling about yesterday? Was it yesterday?
It was Tuesday. I mean, it's been a good week, I think. I'm just saying.
But for people who don't know, in case they're watching this at some other time, there was a blue wave. It was the election on Tuesday across the nation. Well, only in certain places, but
I mean, look, Democrats won in all kinds of places in Mississippi. I mean, Dick Cheney died.
I know. Well, we're going to talk about Dick Cheney because I think that was the email I sent to you, right? Or the text message or whatever. I was like, I know that Dick Cheney meant a lot to you.
Oh, he meant a lot of things to me. Yes, he did. Can't wait to get into them.
And before we honor what has happened on his passing, I wanted to finish up. Let me just say what I think about the blue wave. I am so proud of New York on so many levels. It wasn't just that, and I'm going to mess up his name until I learn it correctly, but Mamdani was elected mayor of New York. And I was on Facebook the other day, on that day or whatever, and I saw people, and I just blocked them immediately. So I want to make this a public service announcement. Somebody wrote on Facebook, I can't believe after 25 years after 9/11, New York elected a Muslim. Like, that is racist. So I don't understand.
News, everybody.
I don't know how people don't understand the simplicity and the cruelty and the nastiness. So I'm like just blocking people now. I'm not even responding. But I'm just so happy for him and so happy for New York. And I know it probably hurts you to love Gavin Newsom at this moment.
But he did the right thing. He did the right thing.
That's all you can muster. That's
all I can muster. That is all I can muster in this moment. He did the right thing and it worked. And so that's good.
God, you really have no love for that man.
I do not. We'll see. We'll see what he does. But we won't go into Gavin today.
Okay, we won't go into Gavin today. I'm just very proud of California as well. There was nobody on the ticket. It was just a proposition.
It was a single thing. Like I didn't actually realize it was just one thing. I got it. I was like, where's my pamphlet? Like, what am I doing here? And I looked at my sample ballot and I was like, oh.
I know, because there have been so many times where you and I will call each other and be like, who is this judge? Like, because we'll do all this research and try to figure out. And it's a job. To vote is a job. But it was only one thing. And I was like, oh, okay, great.
There were lines. My husband went to go vote, in our little local area. And there were lines of people. He likes to go in person. He does not like to do mail or drop off or whatever. It's like his thing, which good for him, Yeah. And he took a picture and he was like around the building.
It was awesome. I mean, I think that's also what made me so happy and made me shed a tear a bit was that, that is what democracy is about. Like, you have to actually go and vote. And all these people, you actually have to participate. And I loathe so many people. We've said this before. I say it all the time now, but I am so sick and tired of people saying, I don't do politics. Well, it's motherfucking doing you. I've said that so many times.
Did you see Mamdani's speech where he said, politics has been doing you? I was like, oh my God,
he watches the show. It's so funny. I just feel that more people need to be involved. And unfortunately, a lot of people are being involved by force. That's unfortunate. Also, the Latino community who, for what it's worth, a lot of Latino people had voted for that dumbass. And, you made a mistake. You made a huge motherfucking mistake, but you came out in droves and voted blue, which I'm not going to give you credit for because that's the other thing I want to say. We are at the beginning of this marathon from hell. We are not done yet. So it was a good night, Tuesday night.
Totally. We'll see what happens, girls.
That's right. We're not done. Like, you have to enjoy. And then, okay, the hour of enjoyment is over. 1 hour. And now we're like back to
well, and I mean, not to bring the room down, but like you saw Trump have a meltdown that night, and it was like more nastiness, more pain, and it's like it's a classic abuser tactic, right? Like, what's the most dangerous time to, in an abusive relationship? When you try to leave, when you try to break it off. And so he sees, oh, everybody doesn't love me. Everything went against me this night. So, you know what I mean? It's like, bring on the pain. And I think it will be more. I think it will be, next year, the midterms are going to be, we are going to have to be on the ball. People, when you say like people need to get involved, like start getting involved now.
Right now.
Start, there are, I'm sure, everywhere across this country, there are already people doing community organizing. There, like voter registrations, whatever it is, all, voter.
Or just read a book or two. Like you're asking, like I'm not even asking for people to go do anything. I just want people to read. I was listening to someone the other day. I don't want to be mean to people because I think in the trying, that's good. That's a good part of it too. But you got to do more than just try. You got to do more than just read the headlines. Like actually read an article and then investigate that article and then make sure that you understand what it means. Like really start becoming a full-fledged citizen of the United States and understand things.
An informed person, right? Like stop allowing people to feed you what you believe.
Yeah. Right? Me and you. No, just listen to us. No. But you should question us too. Yeah. I would never want you to just believe anyone.
I'm a total asshole. Like, definitely question me.
For real, though, it's so true. But I think that's what people get wrapped up in. Like once. Like there were a few people that when I listen to them, I'm like, okay, because I know and I've seen, and it's been years. Like if they say something, I don't have to double, triple check them. And yet I still do. Because I'm sometimes so beside myself that cannot be true. I have to just find another couple of sources.
I read something last night. It was about Chuck Schumer, which whatever, we won't go down that road. But I read something about it and I was like, and it was from somebody who I have a great amount of respect for as a journalist, as a writer, etc. And I was like, did he really say that? And I looked, and it was like, that was an interpretation of what he said. And it is an interpretation one could make, but it's not what he actually
meant. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, again, this is someone whose opinion I trust, who I have read, who I follow, all of those kinds of things. You have to use the critical thinking skills. That's what critical thinking is. You read something, you hear something, and you critique it in your head, and you decide, you think to yourself, is that really true? Maybe I should look into that a little bit more.
Or, and here's the thing, their interpretation is a true interpretation. It doesn't mean that's what was meant by Chuck Schumer or whoever the person is. So it's always good to try to follow up and find the actual
and decide for yourself. Is that, do I feel like that's an accurate interpretation? What do I think he meant? Those, like, use your brain. You have a brain, use it.
And also people make mistakes, people. Like it's not even has to be so intentional, right? It's not like everyone in the media is trying to screw you over for some George Soros or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that everyone is out. I just think we are at a point where we're starting to understand there's no such thing as objective journalism. There isn't. There never has been. Sorry, Walter Cronkite. There never has been, because everyone has an edge or an opinion. Like if I choose to tell you something, that's me making a decision to tell you something from a point of view.
Right. I can leave something out.
Or leave something out. Exactly. So it's so much more layered and nuanced. And if we can become better people, like the most wonderful thing that could happen after this stupid ass Trump administration would be that we become more engaged, smarter human beings and understand our political process. But now I know that might be asking too much, but I'm just saying that could be one of the things that could happen by force, but we really need to be smarter as citizens of this country, as people who live here, but yeah, Tuesday night was finally, like, it's been so long.
It was
hard.
It was like an inkling, I would say. The closest, maybe, like, for example, my kids who are teenagers could get to the feeling that we had in 2008.
When Barack Obama was elected.
Right. Like, I was like, is that, what is warming my cold, dark, cynical heart right now? Is that
the audacity of
watching his speech? I was like, fuck yes, thank you for being unapologetic. Thank you for supporting immigrants, trans people, working people. Like, thank you for being a person. And we know I do not do hero worship on politicians, right? Like, but like, let's actually believe in something and stand behind it and be our authentic selves.
Okay, I'm going to throw a little wrench in here. Because I think, people were talking about how Kamala Harris and Jeffries and Schumer did not back Mom Donnie. I have to be very careful because I keep messing up, but that's right, like Mom Donnie. They didn't back him fully and completely. They were kind of doing that wishy-washy thing. Here's what I want to say. I actually don't believe in everything he believes in. I am not a democratic socialist. I'm not.
I am.
I know. Andrea is. But here's what I want to say that I think is actually really important is I don't have to believe in everything a politician does or says. We're human beings. This idea that you have to take the litmus test, and if you don't check every one of my boxes, you are not worthy of my vote. That is the other part of this that drives me insane. So people were all in the comments like, yeah, dismiss all of these people who weren't back, and like, no, that's not how we do this. Because you also have to remember it's layered. If Schumer, and I'm not making excuses for them, but I am justifying why I know for a fact they wouldn't have full-throatedly, that's probably a bad way to say that, right? They wouldn't have fully embraced him is because the Democratic Party or this side of the world isn't completely on board, and they would have lost a lot of those base people. Actually, I think what happened was so much better. New York did this thing, and now we're all like, what does democratic socialist mean? How is that different? You know what I mean? And take the elements of it that we want and need, which is being compassionate and loving and whatever, and being open-minded. And, he's going to supposedly do all these things, which, by the way, I don't think he can do them all. No. He's the mayor. So let's bring it down a notch. But that's kind of the other part of this too, is like, I don't want to say big tent because I'm so sick of that fucking idea. But I think we have to get to this place where we have to stop checking boxes to allow people to become their best selves in office. They can't all be perfect.
With the idea that you don't need to agree, or we don't need to have every single box checked. I disagree, though, with this idea that it was somehow better for them to not endorse. Chuck Schumer never endorsed him, wouldn't even say he voted for him. And Jeffries came out like 2 days before the election or something.
I think like 2 hours before.
I mean, so my feeling about that, I mean, like, are there endorsements? Do they matter? I don't know. Maybe not. But you do have to support the people. It's literally our point, right? Like, he doesn't maybe check every box for you, Jeffries or Schumer or whatever. But you do have to support the people who are on the Democratic ticket if you are a Democratic leader.
But I think that's what you're confusing. I do think they're supporting the Democratic ticket. I think they're not endorsing him so that they don't ruffle feathers for other people. I hate Bernie Sanders. Everyone knows I hate Bernie Sanders. I'm not a big fan of AOC. I'm not, because I'm not a democratic socialist. Now, I'm not saying that if Chuck Schumer jumped in and said, I'm for Mamdani, I'd have been like, absolutely not. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that this idea that everyone has to agree and has to show and has to jump up and down it doesn't have to happen that way. And let me just clarify what I meant by I think it was better it happened this way, because I think I misspoke. But I think it's better that New York elected a Democratic socialist as opposed to everyone who keeps saying Bernie Sanders should have been president back in the day. Do you know what I mean? Like that was never going to happen because the idea of democratic socialism is such a hard thing for people to understand in the United States. So here in New York, we have a man, by the way, being a democratic socialist is not a bad thing, but people don't understand the word socialism and they don't understand the difference. Let me give you a quick definition so you understand. Democrats are like Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and Kamala Harris are straight up Democrats. Democratic socialists are like AOC, Bernie Sanders, and Mamdani. Like that's a good way. They're just very different. There's more of a socialist bent to it. I feel your energy. What's happening? I feel your energy.
I just think it's absolute bullshit when you have someone who is that charismatic, is young, has captured the attention literally of people around the world, and the leadership of the party is like, we don't think so. No.
I know, but because you believe in what he's saying, because you believe in everything, Andrea. That's why you wouldn't feel that way if it was Gavin Newsom. Wait. You wouldn't feel that way if it was Gavin Newsom.
Gavin Newsom is not that charismatic and exciting and has not captured.
Okay. You know what's so funny? That's the point. Yes, he is. Not to you because you don't like him. You know what I mean? Like, yes, he is. Everyone loves him. That is my point. Is like again, I hear you, but I'm going to disagree with you, which is, we can disagree. We can agree to disagree. But Gavin Newsom is the exact thing that you just said. And I'm saying for me, and for other people, there is a part of me, and I see the Bernie part and the AOC part, and that is not something I agree with. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like them. I will support them. I will vote for them.
That is my point.
Like, they voted for it, but no, that's my point. But I am not going to sit here and promote Bernie Sanders and AOC.
You are not a leader in the Democratic Party.
But I understand why they're not doing it, because there are people who do listen to them. That's why they're the leaders of the party.
Okay,
we're going. You know what? This is our phone call, okay? This is where I'd be like, bitch, enough. No, I'm just kidding. So let's talk about Nancy Pelosi, because she just decided to, at the age of 85, she is finally going to retire. And can I tell you, I'm like angry.
Break today? I haven't looked at the news.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi announced today that she's going to retire and not run for office at the age of motherfucking 85. I mean, they didn't say motherfucking 85, but she's been in office since 1987. Look at.
Wow.
You can already tell how I feel about it. But yeah. I'm like, no, I want her. I think she should have retired 20 years ago. How do you feel about it?
I don't look, I mean, I think she got us through some rough times, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, when we say 20 years ago, that would erase the Obama years. I think we can thank her for ACA. Getting that passed. But yeah, like, honestly, beyond like 70, what are you doing? Go find some other shit to do. Why do you need to be there?
This podcast is going to be known for being ageist. I just like, we are the worst people in the world when it comes. Like, I've already gotten a couple of emails.
We talked about this before, though, and it's like, these are people who are making decisions for the country, and they have no real understanding mm-hmm. of the things that are important to people who are 20, 30, 40 years younger than them. They are making decisions that they will never have to live with the consequences of.
And here's the thing. I'm not against them contributing, and I'm not against them being a part and being like I don't know what the word would be, like elder statesman or elder stateswoman or whatever. But I don't want you in office after. I just think like there needs to be, I don't know if term limits would be it or if it would be an age thing. I go back to this idea that we demonize getting older. So everyone holds on because they don't want to retire. They don't want to be nothing. And that's a cultural thing in the United States where we demonize getting older. And we like throw people away the minute they turn 65. That's not what we're saying. No, I just want to clarify. I did get a couple of emails on this.
Not at all.
That's
My
not
business partner is 83 years old. Like there is a lot of wisdom and you know,
but your business partner lets you run the business.
Exactly. Step back.
Elder statesman. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like you become somebody else. You know what I mean? You become a different entity that is more revered, more respected. I lost a lot of respect for Nancy Pelosi. Ironically, you're going to jump down my throat now, how she treated AOC and the whole group that walked in the door. You know what I mean? Like, because to me, I was like, no, this is the group. This is the young up and coming group. And like, let them take over. But that's about a weird sense of power too. You know, that's a weird
power, it's control. I think definitely when they're sort of in the upper echelons of power in any of these institutions or businesses for that matter, they start to get a sense of like, you know, they can't do it without me. You know, like I'm too important to this process, and I just, you know, I can't let go. They're not ready for it yet. You know?
Yeah. I think if we could change also the culture about, like, I don't know, I'd love to be revered. I'd like to retire and people be like, Carmen, can we call you?
I mean, yes. Some of these people, if they let it go earlier, they would be more revered than if they hold on for this long and literally making enemies along the way and people who are like, you can't even fucking stand up. I don't respect you anymore.
Yeah, Dianne Feinstein is a great example.
Oh, right? My God.
I mean, we loved her. And then I'm like, what is going on in the past like 15 years? It was just like so embarrassing.
I loved Dianne Feinstein. First of all, she looked like
Dianne Feinstein? Dianne
Feinstein. And I voted for her every single time she was on my ballot. And I'll tell you that last vote, I regretted like a mofo because she was not there.
She was not there.
We cannot have, the stakes are too high at this point on all fronts, even without Trump.
No, of course.
Stakes are too high in where we are in our country right now to have people who can't make coherent decisions. Can't even.
Well, here's the thing: if you really love your country and it really is about the people and it really is about your service, you wouldn't stay for that long. But it actually takes somebody to tell people the truth, right? Like this is part of the problem. And I always think about this with Arlene. I know you worked with Arlene at one point too. And I told you the story. It was this weird thing where she thought it was okay to keep driving. And she was like in her 80s. And her family, everybody was, and this is somebody who could afford to take an Uber, right? Like it's not an Uber. She had a chauffeur. But it's one of those stories where I went in and I just screamed at her and I made the one comment. And I said, I don't care if you drove and got into an accident and killed yourself, but you would never be able to live with yourself if you killed someone else. And I got the keys that day. And it's like, and you know, I'm not trying to make this like a big deal, but it's like at some point you have to put that in front of people. And I admit right now that as I get older and older, I can't wait to retire. I would retire now if I could, right?
Right. Why do you want to keep working?
I'm fucking ready, man. I just ain't got the money. Maybe they didn't have the money. Yeah, right.
Maybe
that's what it is.
That paycheck.
Right. But I just feel like there need, you know, like I'm like all the tributes are starting, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, you know what though? I'm angry. And I'll never forget the way in which she treated. It's so funny because I'm not a big fan of AOC and stuff, but I will never forget that little group. Remember the group of young people who walked in?
Yeah, I can't remember what they were.
I can't remember all their names. Right. I just remember being like, no, this is not the way it works. I'm sorry?
I said it's shitty, and it's almost like kind of mean girlish, right? Like not to bring it back to, but it's like, it's not your turn, girl, you know?
And I'll decide when it's your turn. Yeah. And I'm more important and better than you. And it's like, yeah, actually, no. You know what I mean? Like you could be someone who teaches them stuff,
Why can't you just mentor, right?
Yeah. So let's talk about Dick Cheney, because I was kidding with you, but we both have no respect for Dick Cheney. And I know so he died on Monday, November 3rd.
Or was it Tuesday?
It was Monday, November 3rd at 84. I think we all heard about it on Tuesday, but he actually died on November 3rd. And one of the quotes that I think changed everything. I mean, I think the George W. Bush administration, again, we've talked about this before, set up where we're at right now on so many levels. But one of the quotes he wrote, one of the quotes he said, Dick Cheney, was simply stated, "There is no doubt that Saddam Hussein now has weapons of mass destruction." And he said that in 2002, justifying the Iraq war, and later was discredited when no WMDs, weapons of mass destruction, were found. His connection to Halliburton, which is this whole he was the CEO of this company that was just making money. It starts this kind of taking money while you're in office bullshittery. Then the whole thing about never talking about gay people, never saying a word, he never uttered a single word, even though the Republican Party was so against LGBTQ, was so against marriage or whatever. And then during the Kerry debate in 2004, that's when it came out that his daughter, Mary Cheney, was gay. And there was a cowardness, being a coward during that time period when you could have advocated for gay marriage or advocated for the rights of people in the LGBTQ community, and you didn't. And then I'm going to let you speak. And then the last thing I'm going to say that I thought was weird, and I'm not a parent, but I'm thinking, I'm not a parent, but I would think this is a cheesy thing. A lot of people were saying was, oh, but he raised his daughter, Liz Cheney, right. Because she came out and was voting for Kamala and whatever, and I don't know, found her Jesus moment. I have no idea. But I was like, that can't be, you can't be a parent who does bad things and then rely on your daughter to fix your legacy. I have no idea. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, Dick Cheney was an evil motherfucker. And that is just an objective truth.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
He was in the leadership of every Republican administration from before I was born, which was a long time ago, until 2008, 2009, technically. So we're talking Nixon.
Yep.
I think he was Ford's chief of staff, so probably had a hand in the pardon of Nixon. Reagan. Yeah. Which, Reagan, I could spend 17 hours talking about what an evil motherfucker he was. And H.W. Bush, he was the Secretary of Defense.
Right.
And then, the wonderful W years, where
with Rumsfeld,
who was his mentor, also an evil motherfucker, who I'm glad is dead. And there is no possible way to wipe off the stain of the misery and death that this person caused around the world and here in the United States. I can't even believe anyone would begin to praise or honor this type of.
Well, they are, because they're, I know, because later in his life, and he voted for Kamala Harris, and he talked about that, and do we believe in forgiveness? Do we believe in? Andrea clearly does not, but
just because you voted one time for one person does not wipe off all of the evil that you did throughout your life.
I think what's more important for me is the setup of how we're at today. And, can I forgive? Sure, whatever. I don't forget. You know what I mean? And I don't absolve people of creating a space where evil continues. You know what I mean? If there was a way in which you stopped it, again, it goes back to this thing about courage. Like, if you know that your child is gay and people are demonizing gay people, and you have power, and you decide not to say a word or even just kind of have it be assumed that you don't like gay people, it's hard for me to have any kind of compassion or thought process that you are a decent human being. I don't like cowards.
He wasn't a decent human being, and yeah, he didn't like Trump. Okay.
Like, ooh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, all right. I mean, people are complex, right? Multiple things can be true at the same time. Mm-hmm. And, just because we agree that Trump is, a horrible, evil stain on this country, doesn't mean that we wipe away all of the bad that he did, which was a very significant lot of bad.
That, again, I'm going to say, especially if you go back, not you, but if people go back and just look at the history of how it opens this door, these avenues that we're in today, it widens them. And, but this is also thinking about people that might be watching that are still Trump supporters. They're not going to make that connection. Because if you're still supporting Trump in this way today, you're probably not watching our show. So that's you're not watching this show.
Yeah, he was a proponent of this idea of the unitary executive, right? Which is like the executive, there's the three branches of power, and executive is up here at the top, right?
So he pushed for radical expansion of presidential authority, which is, what does that sound like?
You can do things like go to war without Congress's approval. You can do things like create enhanced interrogation techniques.
Which is
torture. You know what I mean? You can do things like open a Guantanamo and have people put there really for life with no due process. I mean, there's all kinds, and that's just
connections. Right. And there are connections all over the place.
Yeah, and so,
what's happening now and what he did.
Exactly. It's a direct thread, a line that you can draw that's like, Dick Cheney had his hands in this, and here's Trump. And it's like, oh, I don't like the way you're doing that. I only liked it when I was doing that. So I'm going to vote for this lady. I don't believe in anything she actually proposes.
Right.
I don't believe in any of her policies. And the minute I can, I will get a Republican there who believes in exactly the same things I do, but just isn't Trump.
Right. Yeah.
Like that.
It's just an interesting thing. And so, I really did want to talk about it a little bit because I thought it was fascinating. And I'm always fascinated by how we revise, right? It's always the people in power that revise the actual truth. And here's something that I know a lot of people get upset about. I can hate whoever I want to hate. You know what I mean? Like, I can despise whoever I want to despise. It's not hurting my soul. It's not making my life cheaper. It's not doing anything to me. I just think that we've gotten into this thing where like, oh no, you cannot hate anybody. Yet your behavior is
forgive for you.
That is, you know what?
It's not eating at my soul.
It's not eating at my soul. Like, I love the isms that we've grown up and we've just accepted. That's one of them. Right? That people are like, you have to forgive for your, no, I really don't have to forgive anybody. But if it makes you feel better, I forgive, you know what I mean? Like, but I don't forget.
Right. I have people in my actual life who I'm like, yeah, I don't need to forgive them, but I can like put them off to the side and like live my life happy and joyous and whatever,
No, but Andrea, forgiveness is for you. It's not for them.
It's actually, I'm not fine.
Yeah, that's part of my book that I'm working on too, is all these isms that we've grown up to believe in, and yet they don't really mean anything, like let go and let God. The entire AA community is going to come and beat the crap out of me. But like, that's one of my favorite, because what does that mean? Like, what? Seriously, what does it mean?
Release yourself from responsibility. Like, okay, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, don't be dissing people. But I'm just saying. But it's the isms, right? It's all the isms. Like you have to forgive for yourself. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not forgiving them. I'm good. There's so many of those. I said one the other day.
I'm
sorry.
I said I have standards. Damn it.
I think I like that, actually. I never thought about it. It is standards, isn't it?
I have people that I allow into my life, whether that's actual people that I know or like
Barack Obama.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like people that I allow into my life, and I have boundaries, right? I have standards. Like, no, you do not get to be a part of my world.
Well, I think it's kind of like, like the whole Charlie Kirk thing that, he was murdered or whatever. I think there's one thing to have compassion for his child or whatever, you know what I mean? Clearly, I don't know what's happening with his wife and J.D. Vance, but there's something, I don't know what that's about. Oh no, there's something weird happening there. But he was murdered by someone. That is weird and odd and horrible and whatever. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, but now I'm thinking he's a great guy or whatever. He was a horrible person, and he did a lot of damage to people. And it's kind of that same thing. Like I can have more than one feeling about a situation because I'm a complex human being that can deal with nuance and understand the layers of how the world works, Right. So it's that kind of thing too. It's like, I think when people say let go and let God, first of all, not everyone believes in God. So whatever it is, when you do that, you are absolving yourself of kind of responsibility. I never thought about it that way, but I'm going to use that. That's a good one,
Yeah. Well, and I think it's this, not to go back to this, but it's like people want things to be black and white. It's like this or this, yes or no. And that is not the human experience, particularly if you are a thoughtful, educated, critical thinking person, right? You can have a person or a topic or whatever where you have competing ideas about it. Like, I think this is good, but this part of it I don't really agree with. But this is that, I need to find out more about that. Whatever it is, you can have multiple thoughts and feelings about multiple different things and people.
Yeah.
But if you are not a person who is comfortable with that, then it's like, I either like this or I don't.
Yeah. And that's kind of part of the problem too, is that we're just, I always say nuanced, but it's also how our politics has been set up.
It's dumbed down. That's really what it is.
It's dumbed down, but it's also like we're so accepting. Like there's this meme that's been going around, and I'm not going to do it correctly, but this idea like you're mad at the person getting SNAP benefits or the person making $8 an hour, but you're not mad at Jeff Bezos or any of the big time people who don't pay taxes, who get tax benefits and credits. And they've done such a good job of convincing us that the problem is all the brown and black people who are running around, landscaping. And ICE just arrested a preschool teacher yesterday.
Yeah. At school, in front of the kids. At the school in front
of the kids. Right. And like, they've convinced you that those are the people that are the problem as to why your life isn't the way that it could be. Like, you don't understand nuance at all. Like, you don't even understand what they're doing because you're not even seeing so easily how rich people are just stomping and laughing at us. Like, that's why Tuesday's vote was incredible.
Yeah.
That's why it was amazing.
All of the money spent.
Oh, it was awesome.
It's like, just light your millions on fire,
Yeah. But we'll just kind of wind this down a bit. But the White House East Wing, like, have you noticed that's not in the news anymore, right? The destruction, because they have gone out of their way to make sure that all the media doesn't keep talking about it because they understand that the public is not okay with it.
Right. We don't like it.
We don't like it. So it's out of, what else is not in the news anymore? Epstein files. This is corporate America, all the bigwigs, the people that are financing the destruction of the East Wing or the building of the ballroom, however you choose to look at it, are corporate America. Corporate America is funding all of that. And then they're turning around and laughing at us because they're going to be sitting at that dinner table. And then we're going to have to pay, as taxpayers, anything that isn't covered by it and all the maintenance for it afterwards. Our tax dollars for a ballroom we didn't need. Right. And again, where are the Epstein files? I'm just wondering.
Well, and the media, which is now corporate America, right?
Corporate America, completely.
any type of real national media is not, serving the interest of the public at this point.
No. And I keep telling people this all the time. Stop following networks and papers or whatever. Find those journalists that are doing good work. Like Jacob Soboroff. Is that how you say his last name? Soboroff. Yeah. It's such an interesting last name, right? Soboroff. I've never heard of it, but I love him. He's so handsome too. Love him. But like, he's a great journalist. And the reason he's an investigative journalist, he's just really good and he's just so smart. It's like, I follow him. I want to know what he's doing and what he's saying. And the reason why I like him so much is because he also comes with receipts all the time. He has receipts all the time,
As a journalist should.
Yeah. Which is, what I just dawned on me? I can't believe I'm saying that because that's what journalists usually do.
Well, yes, they do.
God. Yeah.
They do.
All right, cool. Well, look at that was an interesting conversation, and it's getting more and more like our actual phone conversations. We have those little fights and shit, and like you don't seem to understand that you are wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like I love you, but you're always wrong, and I'm always right. That's what.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's not true. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we'll see you again next week. And remember, at the end of the day, it really is all about the joy. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for stopping by. All About the Joy. Be better and stay beautiful, folks. Have a sweet day.